Hello.
Hello,
Hi, I'm AJ.
how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Um, I was just calling because I believe that it really depends on the situation when it comes to forgiveness. I feel like I have some situations where I personally need to forgive
What do you
because,
mean it depends on the situation?
well,
Well, first
sometimes
off,
when
how old are you? First off, how old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to mention that sometimes one person is in the wrong. They may have cheated. Sometimes the other person is in the wrong. They may have not been ready or been rude or dismissive, or maybe not taking people seriously that I wish I had. So overall, I think it's situational, but I think that it's really about the emotional IQ of the person and if they're ready to admit that everyone has their flaws and come to the table and talk about what they did and if they're ready to change.
I still don't understand what you mean by it's situational.
Oh, so like for instance, if you're saying is should black men or black women forgive first?
Yeah.
I believe every situation is different.
Well, it can't be everything. See, that nuance thing doesn't work. It is what it is. Black men and black women don't get along with one another. Who goes first?
I was saying my personal situation, I feel like I can go first because I've made some mistakes in certain situations.
I'm saying the macro situation. I'm talking about black men or black women. What side goes first? Macro.
Um, Macro, I believe that women might have a little bit more emotional capacity to initiate it and might feel comfortable being vulnerable. And so if we have that capacity, we can go ahead and and
Can you
and
can you just give me a
share that.
straight? Can you just give me a straight answer?
Yeah, sorry, I thought I was.
Well, see,
Women,
oftentimes women think you're giving a straight answer, and men are just. When I say which go first, men or women, the answer is either men or women. It's not. Well, if I think women, if they have the capacity, they should just which side? Are you saying women should go first, or
yeah,
men should
that's
go first?
exactly what I said. I think
Well, no,
that we
no,
have
no,
more
ma'am. No,
emotional
no,
IQ.
let me explain something to you. Let me explain.
I
You can
said
accept
women
that.
should go first.
You can accept that or not. I'm just telling you, this is one of the major complaints about men when they speak to women. You use too many words and too many nuance when you just, especially when you're being held down to a yes or no answer. On this channel, it happens all the time when I ask women a hardcore yes or no question. It's called deflection. You'll see people talking about Wonder Woman bracelets and the shields going up. You can go back and look in the chat room. But anyway, go ahead.
I believe women can go first.
So, in your personal life, do you forgive often?
No,
Why?
I would say often that I've done a lot of work in some of my personal relationships. And when you kind of meet sometimes your situation with tools that your therapist has given you, the other person might recognize that as bad behavior. So
Okay, let me try this, AJ. Can you talk to me like I'm 4 years old?
yeah,
Okay, I asked you, how's that work do you forgive in your personal relationship? You said no, and I said why? Give me the answer like I'm a 4 year old.
I don't forgive because sometimes people don't deserve the forgiveness.
Thank you. That would serve you much better with men. So you don't forgive because they don't deserve the forgiveness. What do you mean?
I think that sometimes they don't appreciate when I come to the table with trying to really explain how I feel, and they recognize that as bad behavior instead of good communication.
They recognize when you try to come to the table and say how you feel, they say you're behaving bad.
Yeah, a lot of times people are of the opinion that when you bring up a situation, it's automatically negative and they don't want to heal it. And so they'll just put that negativity on you instead of trying to heal the situation.
Has this happened?
So
Has this
I
happened with
find
more than one
sometimes,
person?
sorry,
Has this happened with more than one person?
yes.
How many people would you say this has happened with?
Definitely a lot of my family members, maybe four family members.
So, do you make any room, AJ, for the possibility maybe it's how you're giving it?
Oh, definitely. I've made room for that. And I feel like when I definitely sit there and talk in a very calm way, even with my therapist, it's the group therapy doesn't even sometimes go well. And I don't know what tools to use if none of the tools will work. And sometimes you just have to divest,
What does that mean?
like take your energy away when you are meeting someone with energy and they aren't coming back with the
Okay, human
reciprocity.
beings are pretty simple. Human beings are pretty simple. Um, and it sounds as though you've made us pretty complex when it comes down to interactions. We tend to treat people nice who treat us nice. We tend to treat people poorly who treat us poorly. If someone did wrong by you and they ask you to forgive them, do you forgive them?
If someone comes to me with a genuine apology, yes.
Ah,
But often that doesn't happen.
ah.
Do I often forgive? No, because often the apology doesn't happen.
See that? No, no. I said if someone does something wrong and they ask for your forgiveness, do you forgive them? And you said if they come to me with a genuine apology. Well, I just said they came to you and asked for forgiveness. That implies a genuine apology. But what you just said, see, what I'm hearing from you is you probably have a very high standard for how someone has to apologize and how you have to be communicated to. And you need to really feel like they really, really mean it.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I feel like a sincere apology.
That's bullshit.
You're saying a sincere apology isn't a
No, I'm saying
prerequisite
you're
for
not
forgiveness?
God. What I'm saying is I've asked you several times to make it simple, but you're going to give it to me the way you want to give it to me. But when someone does the same thing to you, if someone comes to you and asks you for forgiveness, you want them to give it to you the way you want it given. But you don't even do that to me. So I said it's bullshit. It's hypocritical, man. That's why I said if you have had this situation happen with multiple people, you're the only common denominator.
Well, I would have to say that I've spoke to my therapist about this, and sometimes when you come from toxic situations, especially family,
Mm-hmm.
um,
How long you been with the therapist?
4 years.
And you're 33?
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, unfortunately, the world does not owe me or you understanding. If you've been with it for 4 years,
Yes.
have you had any more success in your personal life?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like
I
cutting off some
mean,
of my family
no,
members
no,
was
no, no.
necessary.
When your personal, let me clarify. Your personal romantic life.
Yeah.
You're in a long term relationship right now.
No.
When was the last long term romantic relationship you had?
3 years ago.
But you, but how can you say you've had more success in that?
More success in terms of healing, in terms
Well,
of when
no,
you
no,
said,
no, 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 no. See, that was I asked that question very simply.
no, I answered your previous question when you
I
just said,
I know. Okay,
your personal
let me
life.
run it back. You've been with the therapist for 4 years, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to see if it's worked. And I said, well, you say you've been here for 4 years. The world does not owe you and me understanding, but let's test it. Would you say you've had more success in your relationships? You said yes. And I said, let me clarify your personal romantic relationships. You said yes. And I said, okay, what's your longest? Are you in a long term romantic relationship? You said no. I said, how long ago was your last long term relationship? You said 3 years. Then, if you've only been with your therapist for 4 years and the last relationship you had was 3 years ago, you haven't had any success in personal romantic relationships post therapy.
I would I wouldn't
That's
say that.
that's simple math, ma'am. That's not. There's no nuance right there.
I guess I don't really like judge the success in terms of length of the relationship.
Did I just? Okay. In your personal relationships with men, have they become easier?
Yes.
Have they become more productive?
Yes.
Where is the proof of that?
The proof of it is in my peace of mind. It's in the quality of men that I've dated. It's also within my mental health.
The proof would be if you had a fucking man. That's the only way to prove that, ma'am.
Well, I guess maybe it's time to stop because I don't know why you're cursing at me. I guess
Yeah,
you're
get the fuck off my phone. Cursing
bye.
at you because you're a fucking mess. All right. So you've heard what I've been talking about tonight. What do you think about the subject?
It's very relevant. I feel
Are
that
you
I have not prepared myself to be a wife. So
okay?
I'm just looking for some tips and strategies of how I could, move forward.
So do you want to be a partner, or do you want a partner, or do you want to be a wife?
I want to be a wife.
Okay. I always ask this question. Why?
Um, I do want children. I
Okay.
want a family. Um, I understand that, when retirements hit, I'm going to need, that additional support. But mostly the family component and having children. Also having someone um, consistent sexually
Mm-hmm.
um, that, I can just move forward with. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm a little nervous.
That's all right. You're just talking to me. Okay. So what I did not hear, I heard you want the kids, and I heard you want a life partner and not to be out here having random sex. Okay. What I did not hear is the man.
Oh, I thought that was implied.
What are you
So
gonna?
yes,
The
I want
man
the
gives you
husband.
have the kids, you have the sex, but what are you going to do for the man? Let's start here. Were your mother and father married?
They were divorced.
Okay. What did your mother teach you to do for your husband?
Nothing, honestly. We have never had that conversation. And,
What do you
as
think?
I
What do you?
continue to listen,
What do you think? What do you think? What are you going to? What do you think you should do for your husband?
be supportive, make sure all his needs are met, ensure that, when he comes home, he has a hot meal, be flexible, be compassionate to his needs,
Do you
make
know how
sure
to
the
cook?
house is taken care of.
You know how to cook?
Yes,
You have a cookbook?
I have a recipe book,
Cookbook, recipe book. How many recipes in there?
um, about 15 that I use regularly.
All right. Now, you be supportive. Make sure the house is clean, even when you're working a 40-hour week job with those kids.
Well, I don't really tend to do so,
You don't tend to work.
not to that capacity,
Oh, you want to be
possibly
so
just
you
part
want to be a
time
you want to be a housewife.
or just work part time.
You want to be a housewife.
Yes,
How many kids do you want?
to
What state do you live in?
Georgia,
How tall are you?
5'5",
Dress size?
6,
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
155.
And you're 31?
Correct.
All right. Have you ever dated a man that made $275,000 or more annually?
Yes,
How long did you date?
about 6 months.
How old were you when this happened?
25, 26.
And why was it 6 months?
He wasn't really ready for a relationship.
Okay. And you were at that age?
Yes, I
You ready to
think
be?
so.
You ready? Okay. All right. And the next person you dated after that person, how long did that relationship last?
7 years or a little less, 6, 7. We were still kind of messing around in between.
So it just kind of ended,
Correct.
but you weren't married.
Correct.
How much did he earn?
About 70K.
Okay, ma'am. If you believed you were ready to be in a marriage at 25, there's no way in hell you would have been in a relationship with 6 years with somebody.
That's true. Now that I think about it, I really wasn't.
But less than 2 minutes, you just said you were.
Because I really wanted it, but like when you really
Wanted,
get down
I said,
to, yes,
You just told the truth. You said it ended with him because he wasn't ready and you weren't ready, as evidenced by you getting with somebody for 6 damn years.
true, but it was
There's
just so
no
much
but,
in the
there's no
relationship.
but, there is
You're
no but.
right.
Huh?
You're right.
I
It's
know
no
I'm right.
but.
I know I'm right. There's no but. And ma'am, I got even more bad news for you. You ain't a wife
Hmm.
today.
I know.
You still got that dude's DNA all over you. Ma'am, the relationship, when's the last time you talked to him?
New Year's.
When's the last time you had sex? In the last 12
New
months?
Year's. New Year's, yes.
Then no man in his fucking right mind would touch you with a 10-foot pole.
I understand that, but that's why I want
You
to
need
take this time to learn
therapy.
how to be a
You
wife.
need therapy. No, you're not. No, no. You need therapy
Okay.
because one, you had a 6 year relationship that was with somebody that wasn't going nowhere. You were off and on. That ain't normal.
Okay.
And to be a wife, honestly, man, um, you're not. Can you become one? I don't know, but it's too soon.
Okay.
You don't go from a 6 year relationship and somebody you were kicking it with and you were just together a month and a half ago.
I get that.
And unfortunately, just because the clock may be ticking, these thorough kind of men, they're going to sniff this out like that. And this is why I think it's interesting. You ladies always seem to think it's the problem is with the men. If you were raised to be a girlfriend, that's okay. But why we went this deep into it is because you want to be a housewife. No.
Okay.
I mean, but understand, housewives are very rare. That's like what? 26%, 74% of mothers in this country work full or part time. You don't want to work. So a man has to make the kind of money to take care of the kids and you.
Hmm.
These men have high standards. Do you The last man you were with had you for 6 years and he was making 70,000. Man, that's your upper limit. That's it. And that's really that's almost twice what the average man makes. I got a question for you.
Hmm.
Serious question. If you got married and had kids, could you get married and have two, three kids with a man and you still had to work 40 hours a week?
Um, it will be challenging, I
The
feel,
answer is yes or
to
no. The answer is yes, I could get married and
no.
work. Okay. So this is another one, and then the hell with you too. The hell with you too. I get
Okay.
tired of our women sitting back thinking that a man is only good enough to be your husband if he can retire yourself.
Hmm.
Every time y'all say something like that, you shit on average men.
Well, that wasn't my
I
intention.
don't care if it was your intention, ma'am. You just basically said, if I gotta work this is hard with a man, I'll stay single. That's why your mothers and grandmothers have screwed y'all up.
Execute
You
Order
said specifically two or
66.
three, right?
Say again?
You said, would I be able to have two or three kids, right? So I consider that, okay, possibly one. I think we'll be okay with that. And also
No,
mention, I said I didn't mind.
one kid is not a good thing. I'm an only child. You don't want to do it to a kid.
Okay.
Why did your grandmothers and great grandmothers have 6 and 8 kids and they damn sure worked harder than your tender ass in the heat with no cars? Why could they do it
You're right.
in Georgia? And the answer is the way I've been raised to think is a man is supposed to make my life easier. If I got to work just as hard or harder with a man, that ninja ain't worth it. So that's why you don't get a family, you don't get kids, you don't get a legacy, you get a dog and your own funeral plot. Get ready for it. Because unless you change your mind about how you view average men, we ain't going nowhere as a community. Because man, you're right there on the curve. You're a- average cute, but you're not no $300,000 plus housewife. It's not an insult. But what you said about I gotta work and have kids, because I asked the question 3 different ways. I asked it
Okay.
before this last time where I dropped a hammer. I asked it about 10 minutes before, a different way, and the answer was no. I don't plan to do that. Your plan is to be, if I get married, I should be a housewife. Was your mama a housewife?
No, but remember I said I don't mind doing part-time.
No, full time. Do you have to work full
Full-time,
time now? Do you have to work full time now?
absolutely.
Well, and what when think about this, what practical sense does it make for you to work full time until you are 65 by yourself with no support system, no network?
I would
why does that listen? Why does that make sense in not working the same full time with a husband,
I
get
don't
a whole group of people? This way you get you.
I
Why
don't
does
mind doing so. I just wanted to make
ma'am,
sure that I could provide for my
ma'am,
family as
I
well.
don't buy that, and nobody in the chat room buys that.
Okay.
I don't
But
buy that. I don't buy that, ma'am, because I've asked the question 3 different ways, and you have not. Just like I asked you at 25, were you ready to be a wife? You said yes. You are as firm as Jello, and women who are wives and serious have a foundation. You changed your opinion. You've said different things. This is like a high school girl. There are many things I'm judging and many things I'm evaluating. Go back and watch this segment and look at how flexible your positions were. You'll just say whatever you need to say. Who are you? Did you think, honestly, let's turn it down a little bit. Let's turn it down a little bit. Do you think the women of our community back in the 50s and 40s and 20s and 10s were more serious at age 31 than you are?
yes.
Then that's the standard. Not what men think, the women that came before you. Y'all are out here playing. Hot girl summer. City girls, we up. Y'all out here fucking
Mm-mm.
playing. And life ain't playing with none of y'all. At 31, they had kids and families and was on to grown shit. Y'all still out here trying to worry about getting your nails done and your hair right,
Mm-mm.
and then you expect a man to get out here. What kind of professions would a man need to have to legally earn $300,000 or more?
His own business, VP, executive VP, a
Professions, ma'am.
director.
Professions, professions, not titles, professions.
Um, so maybe within business and our trucking, owning their own trucking company,
Okay.
perhaps a marketing company, a technology firm,
Those aren't professions, but
or in
okay.
technology.
What in technology? Give me the profession.
I would say like a technology VP.
A technology VP is not a profession, it's not even a title. You know, a profession is a criminal defense attorney, a neurosurgeon, a cardiac surgeon, an oncologist. Those are professions. You're giving me bullshit titles.
Okay. Well, thank
What,
you. Now I
what?
know the difference.
No, but the thing is, how you going to get a man earning that kind of money? You can't even identify what they do.
I understand. So my purpose was to really come to see I know exactly where I am and I wanted to move forward. So I wanted to have any tips or advice
Yeah, I
for
know
how
what
I
you
could
want.
prepare
You want
myself
all
to
that.
move forward.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not going to end well for you, man. Don't get upset
Okay.
with me because you made yourself look like you are. That ain't my problem. That ain't my problem. You came on here with your Jezebel shit, being a chameleon ass imposter, then you don't get mad that you made yourself look silly. I didn't do that to you. I came on here with this intention and that in question. Now, thank you. If you don't want to do it in public, you should have booked a goddamn session. I get tired of y'all with y'all's arrogant ass. Got the nerve to get an attitude. And she did something. A podiatrist, global marketing director, software engineering manager, nurse anesthesiologist, a patent attorney, product management director, tax director, director of engineering, a dentist, software engineering staff, a senior corporate counsel, psychiatrist, hospitalist, physician, pathologist, medical director, surgeon, anesthesiologist, radiologist, cardiologist. It's a simple fucking Google search. All you ladies need to do is a simple fucking Google search to figure out.
Hey guys, welcome back to Spotlight News again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As we always do commentary about Mr. Kevin Samuel's videos, don't forget to like and share. Don't forget to comment, and don't forget to put what your concern is all about. Happy Easter holidays, and welcome back from the Easter from this side. I don't know what's really going on that side. Are you guys enjoying your Easter holidays or wherever it is? So today, as you're going to see me here, we are going to comment. Before we comment, let's give respect to the fallen legend Papa Kevin Samuels for his good work he has done to the community and to portray what he has done, most especially for the black women. First of all, allow me to thank for his good work, because at least he has really built the boundary between the black men and women in relationship and whatever they do. Fun enough, let me say he was such an intelligent guy, because dealing with our gender is not easy, but Papa Kevin Samuels could portray and bring out that picture of how you can deal with such ladies who come in like to fire out or in any way or the other. At the end of the day, you find it very difficult for a woman who's being accused, or a man being accused, to know they are real, where they fail, and what to do in one way or the other. We are going to look at these ladies. They came with a lot of fire and they got smoked on the live because of their unintentional behavior, but Kevin Samuels told them, if you do, you have to do this, you have to be like this, you have to say this, and whatever it is. Yeah, you're looking for a relationship. We talk about marriage, feminism, what you want to do, what really brings you out there to do whatever you have to do in the right time, and how to sort out yourself. Most especially to the single mothers, this is so helpful for you. These videos are so helpful for you. These videos help you to exactly know what you can talk in public and what you can do. Bye bye, may God bless you, and stay tuned.